Part 1. The Queen Who Did Not Fear Humans. Zareth, the queen of the Draxian Empire, sat on her high throne. Her claws rested lightly on the armrests, and her eyes glowed with a faint blue light. Around her, the council of Draxian generals stood quietly, waiting for her word. The room smelled of burning crystals, and soft echoes of alien voices filled the air. Zareth did not fear anyone. She had conquered hundreds of worlds and crushed rebellions with a flick of her hand. But there was one story that puzzled her, the story of the human warriors. For years, her scouts and spies had returned from the edges of the galaxy with tales of humans. They spoke of their stubbornness, their speed, and their ability to survive situations that no other species could. The Draxians called these humans weak, fragile, and short-lived. And yet, the stories told of humans who could stand against entire armies. Zareth had laughed at these stories. They were myths, she believed, made to entertain soldiers far from home. No human could match a Draxian warrior, she thought. No human could survive one encounter with her elite soldiers. "Your Majesty," said one of the generals, a tall creature with green scales named Varek. "We have captured a human soldier from the edge of the Koran system. He is strong, and he has fought bravely against our forces. He asks to see you." Zareth leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. She liked challenges, even small ones. "Bring him to me," she said in a calm, cold voice. "I want to see if the legends are true. If this human is as strong as they claim, I will know it myself. If he is weak, we will end this story today." Varek bowed and left. The doors of the throne room opened slowly, and a human soldier entered. He was not large or overly muscular, but his posture was confident. His brown hair fell slightly into his eyes, and he wore a worn but clean uniform. He did not flinch at the alien presence. He did not bow or beg. He simply walked toward the queen, his steps steady. "Human," Zareth said, her voice echoing through the vast chamber. "I am Queen Zareth of the Draxian Empire. You are said to be a warrior. Tell me, why do you fight?" The human soldier paused for a moment. His eyes met hers without fear. "I fight because it is my duty. I protect my crew and my people. I fight to survive and to help others survive." Zareth tilted her head slightly. His voice was calm, yet there was a strange strength in it. Most beings would tremble in front of her, yet this human stood like a solid rock. She motioned for the chains holding him to be removed. "Very well. You will have a chance to prove yourself. But first, I want to see your skills. You will face my warriors. If you survive, you may speak freely. If you fail, you will become a lesson for my troops." Alex Grant, the human soldier, nodded. "I understand." The doors to the training arena opened. Light poured in, casting long shadows across the polished floor. The arena was a large open space with strange markings etched into the walls and floor. It was designed to test skill, speed, and intelligence. The best Draxion warriors had trained here since they were young. Zareth observed from her platform as the first group of warriors entered. They were tall, muscular, and armed with energy blades. They circled Alex, trying to intimidate him. He did not move from the center of the arena. He watched them carefully, noting their stance, the way they moved, the position of their weapons. The warriors lunged. Alex dodged with precision, stepping to the side and using their own energy to unbalance them. One warrior tried to grab him, but Alex twisted and pushed the alien into the wall. The warriors looked at each other in surprise. This human was not moving like a scared prey. He moved like a predator who knew the rules but could break them. Zareth's eyes narrowed. She had expected fear, trembling, and cries for mercy. She had expected him to fail immediately. Yet Alex Grant stood his ground, calm and calculating. The second group of warriors entered. They were more experienced, with years of combat training. They attacked in coordinated patterns, aiming to overwhelm him. Alex ducked, jumped, and sidestepped. He used the arena to his advantage, forcing the warriors to crash into each other. Each move was precise, yet simple. He did not use complex tricks, only speed, timing, and observation. The warriors began to grow frustrated. They had never faced an opponent like this. He was human, small, and yet he seemed untouchable. Zareth watched closely. She could feel the energy in the arena, the tension, the disbelief among her warriors. She felt something unusual. Curiosity. She wanted to understand this human. After several minutes, the warriors were exhausted. Alex stood in the center, breathing steadily. Not one of them had landed a serious strike. The arena fell silent. Zareth spoke, her voice cutting through the quiet. "You have survived the first test. You are stronger than I expected." Alex nodded. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I am trained to survive and to protect others. That is what humans do." Zareth leaned back on her throne. "You are calm. You do not fear me or my warriors. Why? Most beings would tremble. Most would beg for mercy. You do neither." Alex looked at her. "I have faced many challenges. Fear does not help. Courage comes from purpose. I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves." Zareth studied him silently. There was something in his eyes she could not read. Determination, strength, and an unbroken spirit. He was human, fragile by nature, yet somehow stronger than many of her warriors. She realized that the legends of human warriors were not entirely false. Perhaps humans were more than myths. Perhaps they had a kind of strength that she had never known. "Very well," Zareth said finally. "You will remain here. You will train with my warriors. I will see what you are truly capable of. If you survive, I will know the truth of these legends. If you fail, you will remind us all why humans are considered weak." Alex nodded once more. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The Queen watched as the human was led away. She could not deny it. She was intrigued. She had dismissed humans as myths, as weak creatures. But now she faced one in reality. And for the first time, she felt a spark of respect mixed with curiosity. This human might not just survive. He might change the way she saw the universe. The Council of Generals whispered among themselves. Some doubted the human could last a day. Some feared he might surprise them. Zareth remained silent, her mind turning over the possibilities. She had ruled countless worlds, faced countless threats, and yet something about this human soldier unsettled her. Perhaps she had underestimated the strength of the human spirit. Perhaps she would finally understand why the legends existed. As the sun set outside the fortress, casting long shadows across the throne room, Zareth sat quietly. She did not fear humans, but she no longer dismissed them. The challenge had begun, and the first human had entered her world. She would see how far his courage, skill, and determination could reach, and she would stand before him, watching, learning, and perhaps finally believing. Part 2. The Human Who Would Not Kneel. Alex Grant was escorted to a larger training arena inside the Draxion fortress. The arena was vast, with high ceilings and walls lined with strange, glowing runes. Platforms, pillars, and scattered energy devices created a complex environment. Every Draxion warrior who trained here had learned to use the arena to their advantage. Alex walked in carefully, observing every corner, every shadow, every weapon left in the open. He was small compared to most Draxions, but his eyes showed calculation and focus. Zareth observed him from her throne platform. She leaned slightly forward, curious. Alex had survived the first test against multiple warriors. Now she wanted to see more. She had sent her elite trainers to the arena, the best fighters in the Empire. They moved silently, almost like shadows, waiting for her signal. "Human," she said, "your first test showed skill. Now you will face my veterans. Survive, and you may speak freely. Fail, and your story ends here." Alex nodded. "I understand, Your Majesty." The first group of veteran warriors stepped into the arena. They were taller and stronger than the ones Alex had faced before. Their armor glinted under the light, and their weapons hummed with energy. They moved with precision, attacking as one unit. Alex did not flinch. He studied their movements, the distance between them, and the way they coordinated. He knew he could not fight them all directly. Instead, he had to use strategy, speed, and intelligence. The veterans lunged at him in waves. Alex dodged, rolled, and ducked. Each time a warrior struck, he used their own momentum against them, pushing them into walls or off balance. He grabbed a discarded energy baton and blocked a strike, then spun around, using it to trip another warrior. The Draxians were surprised. They had trained to fight other Draxians, not humans who could move unpredictably yet efficiently. Zareth watched silently. She felt a strange mixture of disbelief and fascination. The human moved with patience and precision, never panicking, never overextending. He did not strike recklessly, yet he defended himself perfectly. Each movement was simple but effective. He was not flashy, he was smart. After several minutes, the veterans realized they could not overwhelm him. They changed tactics, attempting to corner him and attack simultaneously from multiple sides. Alex quickly spotted their plan. He darted between two pillars, forcing one warrior to crash into the wall. He jumped onto a raised platform and used his momentum to knock another off balance. The veterans began to grow frustrated and cautious. Their confidence was shaken. Zareth leaned forward slightly. This human was not just surviving, he was learning and adapting quickly. That was unusual for most creatures. Most were either scared or reckless when facing veterans. Alex had neither fear nor recklessness. He had only focus and determination. After several more minutes, the veterans retreated, realizing that they could not defeat him with brute force. They stepped back, panting, their armor scratched and damaged. Alex stood in the center of the arena, breathing steadily. Sweat ran down his face, but his eyes were clear and alert. He had not been pushed to his limits yet, but he had survived a group of the best Draxian warriors. Zareth spoke, her voice echoing through the arena. "You have survived, my veterans. You are faster and smarter than I expected. Tell me, human, how do you do it?" "Why do you not fear them?" Alex looked up at her. "Fear does not help. I fight to protect, not to impress. I focus on what I can do and trust my training and instincts. Humans survive by working together and thinking quickly. I fight because it is necessary, not because I want glory." The Queen's eyes narrowed. This human spoke with honesty, humility, and confidence. She had expected arrogance or pleading. Instead, she saw clarity of purpose. There was something unusual in his calmness. She had faced many creatures, many warriors, and most would be terrified in her presence. Yet Alex stood like a rock. "Very well," Zareth said finally. "You will face another test. This one will not be against multiple opponents. You will face one of my champions, a warrior trained for decades. Only with skill and courage can you survive this test." Alex nodded. "I am ready." The champion entered the arena. He was massive, taller than any human, with broad shoulders and long, sharp claws. His armor was polished to a mirror finish, and his eyes glowed with a cold light. He moved slowly at first, testing the human in the center. Then he attacked with speed that made the floor tremble. Alex did not run. He watched, analyzed, and dodged. The champion struck with claws and energy strikes, aiming to crush Alex immediately. But Alex anticipated the movements, stepping to the side, rolling, and using the arena itself to his advantage. He ducked under a sweeping claw and pushed the champion into a wall, using his own weight against him. The champion growled, surprised by the human's speed and cleverness. The fight continued. Alex did not use weapons, only his body and the environment. He jumped over raised platforms, ducked under swinging energy chains, and used debris to block strikes. The champion grew angry and reckless, striking harder, moving faster, but Alex remained calm. He waited for openings and exploited them. The arena was a puzzle, and Alex was solving it. Zareth leaned closer on her throne platform. She could not believe what she saw. This human, fragile in size, was outsmarting her champion. Each move was simple but effective. Each step was calculated. She felt something she had not felt in decades: uncertainty. This human was proving her wrong. Finally, the champion lunged recklessly. Alex sidestepped, grabbed a loose energy baton, and used it to push the champion off balance. The champion crashed into the wall and fell, stunned. Alex did not strike further. Instead, he stood still, breathing evenly, waiting. The champion raised a claw in surrender. Alex had won without killing. The arena fell silent. Zareth spoke, her voice soft but firm. "You have defeated my champion without taking his life. You are not only strong, but wise." Alex bowed his head slightly in respect. "I fight to survive and to protect, not to destroy." Zareth studied him. She realized that humans were not like Draxions. They did not rely on sheer strength or advanced technology alone. They relied on thinking, adaptability, courage, and determination. She had faced many species, but she had never encountered this type of strength. "You are remarkable," she said. "Most beings would not survive half of what you have faced. Yet you stand calm and confident. You are small, but your spirit is immense. I see now why humans are spoken of in legends." Alex looked at her. "Legends are only stories. Humans survive because they fight for something greater than themselves. That is what makes them strong." Zareth nodded slowly. The human had not only survived, but he had taught her something she had not expected. Courage, intelligence, and determination were weapons in themselves. She realized that she had underestimated humans for centuries. Perhaps the legends were true, after all. The queen motioned to her generals. "Prepare for the next stage of training. This human will not only fight, but will learn and adapt. We will see what he is truly capable of." Alex was led away, ready for whatever came next. He had survived the first challenges, but he knew that his true test was only beginning. Zareth watched him leave the arena, her thoughts turning over possibilities. The legends of human warriors were not myths. They were real. And for the first time, she would see the full measure of one. The story of humans had only just begun, and she would stand before them, learning and watching as they showed their strength and spirit. Part 3. The battle that shook her belief. The next morning, Alex Grant was awakened by the hum of the Draxian fortress. The training arena awaited him. Today, he would face not just individual warriors, but a series of complex trials designed by Queen Zareth herself. She wanted to test his thinking, his courage, and his adaptability. The human soldier was led to a vast chamber with moving platforms, energy barriers, and strange obstacles. It was a place where many Draxion trainees had been defeated in days, some in hours. Zareth observed from her throne platform high above the arena. Her eyes glowed faintly as she watched Alex. He had survived initial tests, but now he would face situations that were unfamiliar and dangerous. She was curious. Could a human truly stand against the designs of her best minds? The first challenge began. Energy spikes rose from the floor at random intervals. Platforms moved and shifted unpredictably. Draxion warriors, each trained in agility and combat, would appear at different points to challenge him. Alex studied the environment. He noticed patterns in the moving platforms and the timing of the spikes. He adjusted his steps carefully, never rushing, always observing. When a warrior lunged at him, he dodged and used their momentum to push them away without harming them. Each movement was deliberate, simple, but effective. Zareth watched closely. The human did not panic. Most beings would have been crushed by the constant change and the attacks from skilled warriors. But Alex adapted quickly. He moved with purpose, reading each obstacle, each opponent, and reacting with precision. She could see that he had not only strength, but intelligence. Humans survived not because of raw power, but because they could think under pressure. The challenges continued. Energy barriers shifted rapidly, creating mazes. Alex learned to anticipate their movement, slipping through narrow gaps and avoiding sudden surges. He ducked under swinging mechanical arms and jumped over widening gaps. The Draxion warriors attacked in coordinated formations, trying to trap him. Alex used the arena to his advantage, forcing them to collide with obstacles or each other. His movements were graceful and efficient, and he never wasted energy. Even when he stumbled, he recovered instantly, keeping his balance and his focus. After several hours, the warriors began to tire. Alex had learned their patterns and their weaknesses. He moved with confidence, blocking attacks, dodging, and using the arena creatively. He did not strike to kill, but to disable and control. One by one, the warriors yielded or were pushed aside. The arena fell silent as Alex stood in the center, breathing evenly, not a mark on him, while the elite warriors were exhausted and frustrated. Zareth leaned forward on her throne, her eyes wide. She had expected difficulty for the human, but he had surpassed all expectations. He was small, fragile compared to Draxions, yet he had used skill, intelligence, and courage to overcome impossible odds. She realized that the legends about humans were not exaggeration. They were warnings. Humans had strength of spirit that other species rarely possessed. The queen spoke softly, almost to herself. He is not like any being I have faced. He thinks, he adapts, he does not fear. This is remarkable. Alex heard her voice and looked up. Your Majesty, he said politely, I do not seek to impress. I only do what is necessary to survive and protect others. That is what humans do. Zareth studied him. There was humility in his words, yet an undeniable strength. The human had not only survived, but had also taught her something she had not expected. Strength was not only in claws or size, it was in courage, determination, and thought. She felt a shift in her understanding, a new respect forming in her mind. The next challenge was the final test of the day. Zareth summoned her champion once more. The massive warrior entered the arena, his armor shining and his eyes glowing with intensity. This time the champion moved faster, more strategically. He had studied Alex's previous moves and aimed to trap him immediately. Alex did not panic. He remembered the patterns of the arena and adjusted his movements. The champion struck hard and fast, but Alex dodged, using the momentum to redirect attacks against the environment rather than directly against the warrior. The fight was intense. The champion grew angry as his strikes were blocked or avoided. Alex moved fluidly, using the arena's pillars, platforms, and energy devices as tools. He did not strike to kill. He struck to create openings, to maintain distance, and to survive. The champion lunged recklessly, and Alex sidestepped, causing him to crash into a pillar. Another attack was redirected, and the champion was forced to pause, exhausted and frustrated. Zareth's eyes glowed brightly. She had witnessed many battles, but this human's method was unusual. He did not rely on strength, and yet he was victorious. He had adapted, thought quickly, and survived with skill alone. She realized that humans had an innate resilience she had never fully understood. This small, fragile creature had outsmarted her champion. He was living proof of human legends. Finally, the champion fell back and raised a claw in surrender. Alex stood in the center of the arena, calm and composed. He had not killed the champion. Yet he had won. The arena was silent, except for his steady breathing. Zareth descended from her throne and stepped closer to the arena's edge. Her voice was calm but carried authority. "Human, you have defeated my champion without striking him down. You have shown skill, courage, and intelligence. You are not only strong but wise. Tell me, what drives you to fight?" Alex looked up respectfully. "I fight to survive, and to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and helping each other. That is what makes us strong. Strength is not only in size or weapons, it is in courage, determination, and purpose." The queen nodded slowly. She realized that the human had not only survived the impossible, but had also changed her understanding of strength. Humans were not weak. They were adaptable, brave, and determined. She had underestimated them for centuries. Perhaps the legends were true. Perhaps humans were indeed worthy of the tales told across the galaxy. Zareth spoke to her council. "Prepare for the next stage of his journey. This human has shown remarkable skill, but there is more to learn. I want to see how far his courage and intelligence can go. We will push him further, and we will learn what humans are truly capable of." Alex was led out of the arena, tired but alert. He knew that his tests were far from over. He had survived the most dangerous challenges of the day, yet he understood that the true test would come soon, not only in combat, but in proving the worth of humanity to Queen Zareth. The queen remained on her platform, watching him leave. For the first time in her life, she had witnessed a human warrior who could not only survive, but could challenge her expectations and the limits of her empire. She knew that she had seen the beginning of something extraordinary, a story that could change the way the universe viewed humans forever.